Yo, yo, Tony D, slumming in the back bins. I'm so glad I got this. All three issues were at the local comic shop. Part 2 or 3, Faith, written by Mike Barr and art by Bart Sears. Inks, Randy Elliott. Good stuff. Steve Olive, colors are good. This is really a great showing. This is one of those books where I talk about I'm always looking for that great story that's underrated, affordable, and it's right there in the back bins if you look hard enough. So, where we left off, a vigilante group has sprung up by a guy named John Akers, who was a junkie and cleaning himself up had some visions of Batman and being communicated to, clean up the streets, help Batman in his war against crime. And the vigilante group, they escalate their actions, and it's drawing the attention of Batman and Commissioner Gordon. And here we have, this right here is Leslie, and she is the person that comforted Bruce Wayne when he was a child at that fateful night of his parents being gunned down. So they're outside. They're taking on another group, and they call them the Batmen, and they just don't know who to root for. This is Bruce Wayne talking, and it comes down to like gunshots. So there's your escalation of violence with this new group of vigilantes. And Bruce is asking himself, do they have it under control, the police? And he thinks, yeah, they do now, but what about the next? And then the people start sticking up for the Batman. They're getting support from the citizens, which just feed what they're doing. Are they right? Are they wrong? If they're wrong, then Batman's wrong, right? Or is it because Batman is so rich, powerful, ultra trained that we'll give him a pass and let him be a vigilante? Kind of like in sports. Do you give that athlete a pass that's a star if something goes wrong or is not done correctly, when a regular athlete would just be suspended? Yeah, that's something to think about. But the artwork is very bold. I love the way it's expressive and bold. Captures the intensity that we're being fed here. I do enjoy it. So Batman, I love these where they just don't show you all the detail, where he truly is dark, and that, it's great stuff. So he goes to Commissioner Gordon because he hasn't heard from him in a while. In last issue, Gordon swore off all vigilantism. He was like, hey, I can't do one or the other. It all has to go. Which is a huge decision with what Batman brings to the table. That he brings to the table. And they talk about the Batmen, and Commissioner Gordon talks about how they're children. They're like a gang of Robins, really, to Batman right now. That's how Batman's... He's not training them, though, but he's watching them. And he mentions that they're children that know the risks, who are aware of the stakes involved. And it's always about the stakes involved. It's super high. Crime is like the ultimate enemy of Batman, whatever form it takes. It doesn't have to be a villain like the Joker. It could just be crime bosses. And that's where I like the real street level books, where Batman's battling more than just a supervillain. He's battling an idea. There's a bunch of great Batman books that are like that. Like when I was younger, I wasn't much into those. it was the whole, it had to be, you know, the Joker had to be a supervillain. But when you get a little more taste to your reading, you really appreciate this stuff. So he's having more visions of Batman. Like this isn't normal. He's actually dreaming. So his dream is getting aggressive. And he's fighting the crime lord Costas. And Batman just shows up for real. And Batman even gives him some props like, hey, you're pretty quick, you know. And he pretty much applauds him for what he's about, what he's doing. And he's telling him that he wants him to let Costas go. And it's because Gordon is staging a raid, and he's going to arrest them too. So Batman's actually, he's trying to help him. And he gets stern with him too. So you're getting a little turn here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an attitude shift. Batman tells him to watch out for those dreams. And he makes a statement here that I guess they were just dreams. It's hard to tell sometimes where the dreams end and the memories begin. And they flash back to where he's getting beat by Costa's men in the first issue. He took a beating, a pretty good one. And his memory it's a little twisted. You know, here comes Batman. Look how he's part bat. That's a great shot. Comes to his rescue. It's a twisted version of reality. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to go against what the Batman wants. And he's even turning to a firearm, that's the ultimate sin with Batman. So they're having a raid on the house. Great artwork. Love the line work. The bold. That's what I was talking about, the bold line work. So Batman sneaks in. It's kind of weird. He sneaks in through the pool like that. And so Batman's doing what he told those kids not to do, but he's got to get Costas. And Batman's doing his normal, you know, out of the dark, taking people out. And I kind of thought this was odd that she sees him there, that you would think Batman would be a little more careful, but maybe he wanted her to see. Leaps into action. Great action shots. So the lights get cut. Batman cuts the lights. That's a classic move. So one of Costa's men shot him. You know, I think I glossed over that. Yeah, right here. They're like, hey, if we just, you know, if we take you out and leave you, then we're good to go. But Batman ain't having that. But they do shoot him. So Batman gets taken by surprise by this lady. And he ratchets it up. Shrek. So Costas tries to get away, but, you know, Batman puts the kibosh on that. So they got to get him to the hospital. So Batman leaves him there. He doesn't stick around, so it's escalating for everybody, even Batman. Usually he would hang out with Jim Gordon, especially in this time frame. I remember a time when he worked hand in hand with Jim Gordon, like he was part of the police department. So Ackers gets some information on where Costas is being kept at. And there's Leslie. I would call her Bruce Wayne's, she's kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like Alfred in a way, provides some wisdom from a normal citizen or, somebody wise. It's always interesting that I'm calling her wise because she's older, but that does come with age, but it's well written what she talks about. She's very direct with Costas. She's going to help him, but she does not approve. So this is where a real big turn is happening, where they take out a policeman. They just knock him out. And Batman is coming in. Batman needs some answers. And John is talking about how he'll kill him. And she says, I knew it, because she knew where this would end up at. So Batman's like, this is my work. Leave. And he's like, he's pretty much detaching from Batman and becoming independent in his mission. His visions and dreams have been so strong that it's overpowering his glorification of Batman, to where he's just an independent vigilante getting there. So a fight breaks out. Great line right here where he's telling Batman, you can't know what he did to me. And he's like, I do, and I can't permit you. He has no idea what he has been through. He just got a beat down. But which is worse in whose eyes? That's usually how it works, right? If it happened to you, it's the worst. So he shoots Batman in the back even. That is such a powerful. That's a powerful panel there. Even his guys are like starting to turn. And then Leslie, she's begging him, trying to save his soul, really. He's like, okay, I won't do it here, but I'll take it elsewhere. So Leslie Thompkins, she needs to help Batman. He's been shot. And she unmasks him and sees that it's Bruce, her friend. So when I saw that, I just want to read the next issue. Like I said, I'm so happy that I got this. Especially at the price, just at the local comic shop, digging. Took a little chance. Now I'm being entertained. Hopefully you guys get some entertainment. It doesn't always have to be that popular $100 book. There's tons of stories out there. Get out there and get them. And let me know. I love hearing about stories. So, outro, get it.